where Highway 50 is shut down in both directions because of a very serious rock slide. Take a look right behind me here. You can see Caltrans crews. Now, a brief shelter-in-place order was also given out to immediate surrounding neighbors of this home that you see right behind me. Despite this strike stretching into its 6th day, the teachers and staff I've been talking with right here on the picket lines tell me they are willing to keep going for as long as it takes.
Plus, the nation faces a critical blood shortage. I'll tell you about the new incentive to give blood and save money.
Just the indoor water park alone is said to be the size of the entire field at Levi's Stadium, where the San Francisco 49ers play. Plus, the governor floats a new way to give you a break on rising gas prices. But how much could you really save? This massive tree over here fell on Tuesday night, and neighbors have spent the past 2 days working to help clean this up. Many of the folks forced to move out of here today told me they are only going right across the street, and many of which are still digging out, like this car you see right behind us in the Safeway parking lot. That's just one of several cars buried in right now.
Well, Daryl Del Monte and his wife Carol called our newsroom last week when they said they had no other place left to go. After exhausting all other resources, they asked if we could look into why the care they've depended on for the past 8 years abruptly stopped showing up.
In a small Sacramento apartment,
I never dreamed that I would end up living like this.
Daryl and Carol Del Monte, married for 43 years, have transformed their living room into a bedroom.
I suffer from spinal stenosis, and my wife had 2 knees operated on.
This while more than 8 garbage bags rot in their own bedroom.
The garbage can, which has been fermenting in there for about 2 weeks.
Because even their own dumpster is too far out of reach for the disabled couple, now 81 and 78.
We can't even get out to our mailbox now.
Through Medi-Cal, they've spent more than 8 years relying on Sacramento County's in-home supportive services program.
They're supposed to keep disabled seniors in their homes, so they do general things, you know, like take out the garbage, do the wash, run errands, shop for people.
Coming a few hours each weekday, up until about 6 months ago when they say caregivers abruptly stopped showing up.
No call, no person, nothing. Never showed.
And they're telling us that they just aren't getting that number of applicants. And our issue is that you need to go out and seek applicants.
They've made call after call to complain, but still no help. Even getting this letter from the county's Child, Family, and Adult Services in response saying, although the county is responsible to assist in finding providers in the establishment of a registry and establish a referral system under which potential providers are made known to recipients, a review of their complaint was conducted, and they found there were no inconsistencies with IHSS and or public authority following California state mandates regarding service delivery.
It makes you fear that at our age and everything that's going on with them, that we're being left to die.
ABC 10 reached out to Sacramento County's in-home supportive services for comment, and a spokesperson said because of privacy laws, they cannot discuss a specific case or client. But they did say the IHSS recipient acts as the employer for the caregiver. Family service workers assist the IHSS client with hiring a care provider when necessary.
It's embarrassing, but it's not our fault, really.
And this couple mentioned the only family member they have is a son who lives an hour away and works full-time to support his own family, so he can only come every so often. We took these concerns up to the State Department of Social Services, which also oversees this program, and they pointed us back to Sacramento County. We're going to continue to stay on this story and let you know what happens. Bria, so many families like the one we're about to introduce you to never felt justice or any kind of relief after unexpectedly losing their loved one to fentanyl poisoning. Most didn't even know they were in possession of drugs, but that's starting to change across our region.
In a succulent-lined backyard,
I think of him every day.
Cindy Watanabe sees reminders of her son in nearly everything.
If I'm sad or in pain, I come out here and I lose myself in it.
Because just about 5 years ago, inside of her home, she found her 20-year-old son Tommy dead in his bed, not knowing until 4 months later when the toxicology report came back from the coroner's office that it was fentanyl poisoning.
We had to deal with the shock and the change and the complete life change and how to get on without him. I didn't want to. I wanted to join him.
After finding a small bag filled with white powder, searching his phone, and talking to his friends, she found out he bought it through the dark web. She says the baseball star was looking for pain relief to heal old injuries.
He didn't know that it would kill him.
Prosecutors never followed up to hold anyone accountable for his death. But years later, as places like Sacramento County have had nearly 200 fentanyl-related deaths over the past 2 years, surpassing gun-related homicides, the tide is turning across the region.
It is the first time in our county that we have filed a murder charge related to the selling of fentanyl that led to someone's death.
On Tuesday, Placer County District Attorney Morgan Geyer charged 20-year-old Carson David Shue with murder for a fentanyl-related death. They believe a man the same age died after taking the drugs given by Shue. This comes just 2 months after the Stanislaus County District Attorney's Office made their first ever fentanyl-related murder charge too, arresting 36-year-old Anthony Taft Lee for the death of a 21-year-old man last year.
By selling it, there's a reckless disregard for human life by doing so, which leads you into being able to charge an implied malice murder.
And although Tommy's killer was never found, his mom is relieved that others are finally paying the price.
They're actively killing people for money.
In both of these arrests, the two suspects were already in jail facing charges of possession of narcotics for sale, among other things, before being rebooked on murder charges.
I want to give you a look at just how close Baker's Donuts is to some of their corporate competitors. They already have Krispy Kreme on their right-hand side here, and they caught wind that Dunkin' Donuts is moving in on the other side of the street next to the AM/PM store you see behind us later this year.
For 38 years, Susie Hem has weathered every storm to keep her American dream alive.
Coming work 7 days a week, so every day.
Immigrating from Cambodia after high school, she opened Baker's Donuts on Florin Road at just 19 years old.
This is for my living. All my life, I've been in here.
Building a name and reputation for her business, which some regulars say has grown into a Sacramento staple.
The real people of Sacramento, they know this spot.
Even back in the year 2000, during the market crash, this single mother of two faced the toughest storm of her career when sales dropped, forced to sleep in her car with her kids for 2 years in order to keep the business open.
That time they was like 8 or 9 years old,
And when Krispy Kreme moved in right next door 8 years ago, she says their sales actually got a nice lightning bolt.
We know that we be strong, make good donut, and loyalty customer will come back for us. They make donut by machine. We make by hand.
But a dark cloud still hovers over her business as Sacramento County confirms with ABC 10 that there are plans for a Dunkin' Donuts to move in across the street next to an AM/PM store. Although the county says they haven't applied for a business license yet, they did put a request through for a sign.
I say, why they do that? It's too close.
And while she says it's her unique homemade donuts topped with things like bacon or cookie butter that set her business aside from the corporate big dogs, her customers say it's the people.
The way they treat you. You're not just a customer. They know faces. They've been coming through here for years.
Which is why Susie says this looming pink and orange storm is a storm worth weathering.
I know I'm gonna make it. They're not gonna be. They're gonna be there, but not busy like us. I believe that.
Susie says she believes their drive-through and social media marketing done by her son are also things that will keep people coming back, not to mention just the loyalty of her long-standing regular customers once Dunkin' opens up later this year.